Usually when I start a painting, I start with kind of a splatter technique. So the one that's on my easel right now is kind of had an idea behind it. Usually when I do it, start out with a splatter technique, I kind of try to pick, use it as a Rorschach test and pick out images that present themselves, and then I have an idea of what I want to do. And so a lot of my paintings are ecological or they are kind of theme-based, and so lately I've been doing like a lot of my pipe theme, which is, I think of it as a symbol that I've developed, not that I've developed pipes, but the idea of what pipes do. And that's they're structural, so they hold a shape, but they also transfer liquids and gases and life-giving things, almost like veins in your body or whatever. So it's so I'm trying to like make this comparison to the forest, which is actually beautiful and serene and part of what the earth is, and then having it introducing man's civilization into it and control into it. So it's and then the faucet at the bottom. I've always worked with a strata technique, and so I usually have a layer over the top of of certain things. So it almost looks like a pond, but actually I meant it to be underground. This is the way I start paintings, and a lot of times they're more intense than that, color-wise, and have a lot more images and shapes in it. But I like to look at them and see what I see, but again, I have an idea of what I want to paint, so it becomes an interactive process. So if I'm seeing things that I like, I'll bring those out and define them a little bit, but then I'll also continue with the painting that I have in mind, or what I want to show, like if I want to have a pipe theme or a landscape theme or a figurative theme. And I try to interact that with the images that are coming up in the painting. And so a lot of times you'll look at it and go, well, what does that mean? And it really, I'm almost as much in the dark, only in that I know it came from my collective unconscious or my personal unconscious, but I allow that to happen along with my conscious, that I actually control it. And so a lot of times it comes out, it's really relates to a dream. So I study Carl Jung a lot. In fact, I read his whole volume set in the 70s. There's about 24 volumes, and it's about dreams and anima and the animus and the collective unconscious and imagery and religions and what religions use as symbols. And so when I do something like this, it's like a dream. So I go ahead and interact with it. And so if I try to do a painting from the very start and control it, it's like work. I mean, I have to reach this end that I'm always unhappy with it. And when I reach the end, I'm never happy with it. But the way you paint here, it becomes almost like a relationship. If you try to control it, you destroy it. But if you give and take, when I'm finished with it, it always turns out better than what I imagined, and it's always fun to look at afterwards. And I always have more energy when I'm done doing it. So it becomes kind of like a connection with a life force, type of a thing. And that's what makes it fun to paint. And as a result, I'm always playing with that, in all my paintings.